ain't got my fucking kayak. You gotta learn how to swim. I'm not. Fucking lost. Whoa.
Here, tell them to hold off the back.
Well, you can swim down, Remy, you fucking retard. I think I can stay here. Bro! How am I gonna get you back home? You don't think I'm on my face is gonna be worried? Yeah, your mom. My mom's name. My dad's your mom is always worried about you. My dad's in prison. I think that's why. When your dad's in prison, we know, we can tell by looking at you. Bro, we get you can't swim, but
Bro,
we
just go get a kayak.
have a fucking life jacket on, Marquise.
I'll just wait.
Bro, you have a life jacket.
Bro, I'm black. It doesn't matter. It's not gonna save me.
Bro, yes it does.
Bro, I'll just find a way. Hey. Hi. Yeah, they think I'm about to swim back, but I can't swim.
Bro, you have a life jacket.
I'm gonna die.
Standing right
Hold
now.
on.
You have to go.
I'm just trying to
You did
get
that
over
to
there.
get over there.
We can get
We
you.
taught him how to swim.
Oh, so I can just like hold on to the back of the head?
Right here if you want.
Yeah, I might drown.
You won't drown.
You won't
I'm gonna try to
drown.
get
You're not going to drown. I promise you won't drown.
There you go.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Huh?
Hey,
What's your
Oh,
name?
my name is Marquise. But everybody calls me LeVar because I go to like Denellen.
are you okay? Are you okay?
Ma'am?
Are you okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was okay getting over here. And they think I'm about to swim back. I can't even swim.
Good job right now.
Probably gonna hold on this. And it's my first time here.
It's your
Oh, first time? Well, welcome.
Yeah.
How'd you get over here?
Yeah, what
They made me
happened?
take that way over there, and they had 2 life jackets on. I'm never coming back with y'all.
Yo, we told you if you're coming, we life jacket.
A life
makes you
jacket.
float.
This ain't even for a big kid. This for a little kid.
Oh my god.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm never coming back with y'all.
I don't know what to say.
Fuck, his friends are fucking assholes.
I wonder how old he was.
Kol Halo Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Akakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who teach and rule well. Salutations to you brothers out there in the highways and byways and hedges. Salutations also goes out to you brothers and few sisters that tune in to listen and learn. The rest of the hopeful elect. To you all I say Shalom. I'm the brother Malak from the Diligent Soldier Camp here in Boston, Mass. And as always, I pray this lesson be edifying to the elect. Alright, it's not going to be a long one. The name of this one is going to be called Not Everyone is a Friend, Especially Esau. Not everyone is a friend, especially Esau. Alright, and you see here in this clip, you know, yet another situation with a brother being put in danger by his so-called friend, you know, who's the devil that the Bible speaks of, and we know, or the majority of us know, as the so-called white man. Okay, the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Okay, you can hear them taunting him to go out to the water, you know, and swim over to them, and he's not trusting them. I mean, as far as that part goes, right? He should have never been up there with them niggas. But he's not trusting on them because who's to say that they won't start, you know, paddling away as he gets closer? And on top of that, he has a like a childlike life-saving jacket on, you know, and you can hear it in his voice, man, that he's scared, man. You know what I'm saying? You can hear it in his voice, not that he's trembling or anything, but that he's trying to keep it cool, kosher, because he's trying to basically supplant them to come back to him, man, so he could get picked up, man, you know. But you hear them taunting him, making monkey sounds, which is crazy because you white people look more like monkeys than we do. You look at your lips, your goddamn mouth structure, man, your teeth structure, you know. Anyways, they're taunting him, you know, and making fun of him, talking about, yeah, we know that you can't swim. We could tell, and, you know, alluding to the fact that he's a so-called black man, right? And so, if it wasn't for this family that happened to be passing by and recording it and having children there that are yet still somewhat innocent, because at the end of the day, who has died being who has ever died being innocent, man, or perished ever being innocent? You know, them little young kids is are gonna grow up to be adult Edomites, man, adult devils. But I perceive that because of the mom and because of the children being present, more because of the children being present, they went over to help this kid, man. Because you hear the father laughing as if it was a fucking joke that they're doing this to this kid. When, you know, if any of us see some shit like that, and it's, you know, Jake's doing it to another Jake, we'll have a quick, you know, chuckle or whatever. But then we're gonna be like, nah, man, don't do that. You know, go get that brother, man. That's you know, this is how things happen, and you know, you put that guilt trip on our people so they could go and do better, man. You know, because Jake is always gonna try to have some fun or whatever, have a few laughs. But there's certain things that Jake just don't even do, like go out to quarries and shit and fucking lakes and shit and do shit like this to their own friends, man. All right, but this is expected from you devils, man. Okay, but you know, you Jakes, man, you guys are simple as fuck, man. You know, after that Norwell brother was found dead in the island, you would think that Jakes will smarten up, will wise up, you know, but there's no wisdom in our people, man. You know, as the scripture says, man, the whole head is sick because you're deprived, man, from getting any type of or accepting any type of advice, whether it be worldly or spiritually, man. You know, Jakes at that age think that they got it, or you know, young children at that age think that they got it all figured out. I got a 21-year-old, and every time I'm talking to that man, he, you know, the way he tries to dismiss things is as if he has years, you know, dealing with, you know, whatever issue, only to you know, call me or later on or after a few days ask me about the situation that I was trying to explain to him, you know. But hey, man, you know, that's how the Lord wanted it to be, man. You know, you're young, you're dumb, you know, you're definitely dumb because you know, scriptures, and we'll bring that out. Scriptures go on to say, you know, in the book of Sirach that you know, to basically while you're young, to get all the advice that you could get, man. So when you're younger, you're wiser. You know how to go about, how to handle certain things, how to walk out here, man. You know, but the arrogancy, the proudness that's on our people and the rest of this godforsaken world is very abundant, man. Very you know, people are saturated with it, man. You know, the hubris going into the pride, you know, our people along with Esau are just drenched in it, man. You know, and this is what you get. You can't tell your son or your daughter anything because they think they got it figured out, only to go and fucking break bread with a bunch of his enemies and devils that plot on him or her constantly. Okay, constantly. That's something that our people have to consider and accept, that these people are wired this way, man. You know, this is not hate. This is just a fact. They're wired this way to hate, to constantly plot on you, to constantly just talk ill about you, as if your worries, your pains, your hurt doesn't matter. You know, it's like, you know, they were talking about Trump not being a racist. Well, you know, there was a guy that said that came out with a meme. And the question that he posed was, you know, when has Trump ever been racist? And this guy was pulling up receipts, man, from the 80s, man. All right? His clubs didn't let certain black people come in, even though there was a war fucking story going around that he was saying that if they didn't let him in, he wasn't going to come around or some bullshit. This man's a goddamn devil, because how you go from wanting blacks to go into your, so-called blacks to go into your clubs to taking out a fucking whole page in the New York Times, I believe it was, to wrongfully discriminate and accuse, I think it was 4 or 5 young black males, accused them of raping, you know what I'm saying, some white woman that was later to be found either lying or was raped by someone else, and they were innocent the whole time. And mind you, the Justice Department, what's it called, sued Trumpito for discrimination. Okay, I don't know if the monies went to if they sued him for some money and gave the money to those 5 brothers, I doubt it. Possibly, you know, it's possible, but you know, knowing this man's track record, I highly doubt it, you know. But our people, man, as the scripture says, the whole head is sick, man, and they're a bunch of simpletons, man. Let's get that real quick in the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs, chapter 1. It's in the 20s. Let me read it in the NLT, man. It says, "How long, you simpletons, will you insist on being simple-minded?" All right, feeble, man, weak. You know, you get offended by facts. Here it is. You go about your life dealing with facts, because all you hear is Jake saying facts. All up and down is facts. But then you tell them a fact about Esau, and that doesn't inquire any other type of questioning. That doesn't alert parents to tell to rethink their children's friends and shit, and warning them, alerting them to, like, yo, this is how these people are, man. You got to be wise when dealing with them. Okay, show them evidence of the track records of people supposedly hanging themselves. You know, when they were really hung, of people getting Jake getting brutally murdered. You know, and lied on, only for the people that were lying on their deathbed to tell the truth. You know, and you have constant proof of this online, man. But you Jakes, man, you're afraid of your oppressor, man. Okay, you older Jakes have failed miserably, have failed the younger generations, man. All right, because you was afraid. Okay, and we get it. You know, the Lord put that fear inside you of his whipping stick. You know, but then you turn away the scriptures, man, when it tells you to fear nobody, man, especially no other man that could put you to death, but fear him, Yahweh, that could destroy you here and in hell. Basically, you know, you coming back in your next generation all fucked up, you know, missing limbs, you know, not being able to speak. You know, my child has autism. He has a hard time verbally expressing himself, and overly stimulated. You know, Lord's will, I get to free him from those, or Lord's will, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua frees him from those, heavy metals and parasites, you know, through the bitter herbs and these things that I want to get for him. But at the end of the day, man, it's all judgment for the Lord, man, that we all get. You know, I was a thin guy all my life. I'm just now hitting or getting to the weight that I've been getting, man. You know, and you know that might sound like, that's not really judgment or whatever. But you know, I'm 43, man, and in my all throughout my whole life, or even in my late 30s, man, you know, I was thin, man. I had a very petite body, man, for my age, man. I always felt like my heart was too big. It was too big for my body, you know, and you know, Jake ain't pussy, you know. Now that I'm in this truth, you know, I'm wiser, so I'm not like out there just picking fights or whatever. But you know, I had to be very cautious with who I go to war with, man, or get in a fight with, man, because you know, I get hit the wrong way, man, it's over for the kid. You know. But you know, Barakatah Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua that teaches my hands to fight, man, and defend myself, man. Okay. And the mind, man, first of all, is your first line of defense, man. Because you know, when you're wise, you walk away from certain things. You de-escalate. You don't escalate something that is not even blown out of proportion, man, to the point where now what you're gonna do? Now you're faced with trouble. You have to defend yourself, you know. But you put yourself in a certain situation. The point is, man, we can't be fucking simple out here, man. The scripture goes on to say, Salakia, Proverbs 1:22, how long you simpletons will insist being simple-minded? How long will you mockers relish your mocking, right? Jake, all they do is be simple-minded and mock at this truth, right? At their elders, when the elders is trying to put them on to certain things that are jewels, man, dropping certain jewels that they should know in life, right? Like the song goes, these are the breaks of life, or the breaks of life, basically. The last question it poses on that verse, it says, how long will you fools hate knowledge? How long will you simple ass, mocking ass Jakes hate knowledge, man? Like the scriptures tell you, warn you about these devils, man, and you still don't, listen and practice what was being taught to you, man. You don't consider, right? And because you're not considering, you're being destroyed out here, man. Just like Elder Malcolm said, man, there's a very good chance that Nolan Wells, I think his name is. Forgive me, man. I'm not good with names, but him and his family, they had to have known about the truth, be told about the truth. Whether the Lord just had them for a few minutes or a whole hour until they basically turned their back or wagged their hands or dismissed it or mocked it, scoffed, and now look what happened, man. They baby boy ain't around no more, man. A young brother, man, but now he's in the spirit world, man. Okay, doing way better, might I add, man, because he's at rest. We're not at rest. We're still behind enemy lines, as the scripture says, man. In the book of Habakkuk, I believe, I think it's in Habakkuk, where it says we are yet in captivity to this day. I believe it's in the book of Habakkuk or Habakkuk. Okay, but how long y'all gonna be simple, man? How long y'all gonna be all feeble-minded, man, to accept the fact and consider the fact that this is Esau's and his people, that this nation of people, this is their MO, man. They hate you Jakes. They're never gonna stop hating you Jakes. Starting with you Judites, man, which is the head tribe of Israel, all the way trickled down to you so-called Hispanics, Native Americans, man. Ain't no escaping this, man, as the song goes by the Peanuts. No escaping this, man. You don't escape the Lord, man. These curses are still upon us, man. We're still behind enemy lines. We're not in the new covenant yet, man. Where Jake is just gonna be walking around, floating around, flying his chariots around with no fear at all. Scriptures talk about he that endureth to the end. How are you going to endure how is there a scenario that you have to endure to the end, but that we know that the end hasn't come yet? Because there's still rumors of wars and wars going out. But I'm not even going to switch the subject. Let's get into this book of Sirach, because I'm not going to make this long at all. Just got a few scriptures, man, in two different chapters. I'm going to go to Sirach 12 and 10, or start at 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, right? This man could polish that or scrape that rust out, as much as he can. He could emulate. He could speak in soft and smooth words, but you're still not supposed to trust this nigga. It says it here in verse 11, though he humble himself, right, as I was just talking about, and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, right? Like a magnifying glass. You wipe that shit and you put it on him to examine him closer, right? And thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. Set him not before thee. Don't put this devil next to you or ahead of you. Lest when he has overthrown thee, when he has the opportunity to take you out, right? He stand up in thy place. He will take your whole fucking spot. Neither let him sit neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. I mean, what else you want to hear, man? What else does this devil have to do? The scriptures is telling you not to trust him for shit. He's showing you not to trust him for shit. And Jake is still, hey, man, man's goings are of the Lord, man. Okay? So the Lord is steering a lot of you Jakes, man, into your own death, man. Into your own detrimental end. And it will go good with you, brothers and sisters that are listening, to take heed of that, man. To go back and read the book of Sirach, man. And see that I'm not BSing. See that we're not saying all these things just to say it, just to hate on the so-called white man and curse the so-called white man. This man deserves to die, man. Him and his whole nation deserve nothing but everything that they got coming to them, and then just being eradicated, man, for eternity, man. This man is a parasite. That whole nation of people are parasites, man. They contaminate everything: the water, the air, people, women, nations, the earth, man. Y'all heard of fracking, right? This motherfucker penetrates the earth and disturbs it. So much so that the Lord even told you that you know, the land wasn't gonna put forth fruit, man. Nothing grows in this motherfucker out here in Babylon. Nothing grows out there in our land, man. That's defiled, man, and being trodden down by these fucking devils, man. Why do you think that? Why do you think they have to import stuff? Why do you think they have to import everything to this fucking place, man? There's no natural fucking resources out here, man, because this man contaminates everything, man. And now with CERN and all the types of technologies that they have going that are just basically destroying even further the fabric of life, man. Which is why the Lord shortened the times, man. We could all feel it. Even people that are not Israelites and not in this truth, especially in this truth, can see it and feel it. You don't have enough time during the day. That's the Lord shortening the times, man. Why? Because if he let this devil run even further, right? There will be no life to be saved, man. He will do away. He will eradicate everything, man. Everything. How can you trust a nation like this, man? How can you trust any of them, ever? So verse 12 again, set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up, Salaki, in thy place, neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. This is advice, man. Remember what I'm telling you. That's what he's saying here. And be pricked with it, man. Meaning take it. Store it deep in your mind, man. In the reins of your mind, in your deepest thoughts, man. And consider it. Verse 13, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? Or any such as come nigh wild beast? Esau is known as the serpent. The way he talks with his double speech, the cunning way that he is, and he hunts the steps of the righteous. And then the scripture goes on to say, or any such as come nigh wild beasts. Now, yes, talking about wild beasts, but doesn't the scripture talk about people that the people that don't have this truth? Don't have not so much only this truth, but this wisdom that the scriptures teach are as brute beasts. How much more this goddamn devil Esau, man? Verse 14. So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him is his sins, in his sins. Who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. The minute he sees you going on your way out, man, he's not going to be around no more. There's no more benefits for him. He's out of there, man. And then an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to overthrow thee into a pit. And it was probably convincing this brother to go on, and they're going to have mad fun, and, they'll have pot and fucking Valium and all types of fucking pills that Connor brought from his father's house. motherfuckers even take their animals medicated, their pets medications and shit. And Jake simple as fuck, you know, all right, fuck it, let's go, we out of here, fuck yeah, you know? Being simple, man, not knowing that he's fucking going to his, you know, they leading him to his death, man. Because these little fucking young Edomites are even worse than their older counterparts, man. Just how they say that, you know, children are cruel because, you know, they tell you the brutal truth. You know, these young little nigglets, Edomite nigglets that are in their teens, that are right before and after, you know, right between being toddlers and or young ass toddlers and fucking adults. That's the worst, man. I mean, look at Jake. We call them YNs, right? At that age. These young niggers, these young white niggers are even worse, man. Because they already have that mentality of can nothing happen to them. My mom's a judge. My uncle's a fucking lawyer. My father or my family's in the force. Not to mention the way that they're brought up and told things about us, how to have that animosity against us. It's in their fucking blood. They just activate it, man, by saying a few hateful things about us. And then that hate just activates and it's always there. But the biggest teaching or lesson of them all is that they teach them is to pretend to be our friends, man. To pretend. To gain our trust, man, only to fuck us at the end of it. Or to fuck over you jakes that are simple, because I ain't got no Edomite friends. I may work with a few Edomites or for an Edomite, but I ain't got no fucking relationship with these people. Nor do I seek to have one. To go in the fucking lake with them. I got a neighbor that's like 5 houses down, man. And she's always fucking trying to talk to me and shit. And I always tell her, yo, I'm in a rush. I can't talk right now. Then she tries to tell me about her exes just getting, I don't give a fuck. I told her, yo, listen, I don't care about that, man. Why do you care? The nigga beat your ass. Blacked your eye. And you over here telling me when he's coming out, I don't give a fuck about that fucking guy, man. I don't even know him. Why the fuck do you even think that I care about the dude? I hope they keep that nigga in there, man. Fuck out my face, man. I gotta get out of here. And I leave, man. And I recently been talking that rude to her, man, so she could fucking stop talking to me, man. I don't want nothing to do with you, man. She the first one talking to the cops when the cops are around and shit. Only to try to tell me or my wife that, oh yeah, you know, I was just trying to steer them so they could go away. Why the fuck you talking to them? Because you're white. Because you're an Edomite. And those are your fucking counterparts. And even though you're like a fucking trailer park slut bucket that's a fiend on top of all that, they still fuck with you more than they do with anybody else. Me, I scattered, man. I skedaddle as soon as I know cops is around. I don't want to talk to nobody, you know, unless I'm directly involved with my children or something. I'm not finna to explain nothing to nobody, man. You're a cop, you know, investigate, do your job, you know. Anywho, it says, verse 16, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt not find him first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. Yo, you can't trust these niggas, man. He will shake his head and clap his hand and whisper much and change his countenance, man. What you think they were doing? That's what they were doing to this young brother right here. Making fun of him. Because they wanted to overthrow him. They wanted him to die, man. The very least choke and go through like this very fucking dramatic situation where they'll go and try to save him. And, you know, oh yeah, we saved him. You know, that's our friend. But why put you in that fucking situation in the first place, man? Right? There's this book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 7. It says, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. For some man is a friend for his own occasion, right? For his own benefit, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. Verse 9. And there is a friend who being turned into enmity and strife will discover thy reproach, man. All right? These motherfuckers act like they're your friend, but they're not. And then it says enmity, right? Here in the book of Genesis, it speaks about how the Lord was going to have enmity, or we were going to have enmity with the seed of her offspring. You know, basically with the serpent seeds, man. Basically with these so-called white people, man. All right? Let me see. That word enmity going into hostility, man. They're going to have a hostility with Jake, man. Okay? The state of feeling or being actively opposed or hostile to someone or something. This is Esau and Jacob 101, man. They're hostile against each other, especially the so-called white man, Esau. He motherfucking hates you, Jakes, man. The Lord had to put the spirit, at least we have the spirit of the Lord to not go after these motherfuckers and take them out. We don't actively think about how to overthrow them, you know? But they do. And they got all the time in the world to do so. Oh, not really, but you know, they have the resources. And they had the time to do so, man. It says over here, and strife will discover thy reproach, man. That word reproach going into, let's look it up real quick. Rebuke. Address someone in such a way to express disapproval or disappointment. All right? And Esau's never what would you call, what's the difference? Oh man. They always disapprove of everything we say, man. Everything we do, how we handle ourselves, man. You know, they say, like, they talk about the word lazy, like that, like it's a trait. It's a trait of the so-called black man and shit. Yet the whole fucking country was built up by so-called black men. By force, not really by choice. But what does that prove? That you fucking white people are the fucking lazy ones. Now y'all want to act like y'all, you know, since you take different industries over and monopolize everything, whether it be plumbing and carpentry and all these other fucking things, you think you do a lot because you had to exclude us from all of that. You had to redline us and make sure we didn't get into certain schools and teachings and knowledge. You pieces of shit, man. Y'all all pieces of shit, man. The Lord can't come any quicker, man, and eradicate you bastards. Verse 10. But you Jakes is gonna go. A lot of you Jakes that are joined onto him, y'all gonna fall right with him, man. As the scripture says, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. Roughly paraphrasing, man. You motherfuckers is all gonna reap what Esau has been sowing, because you've been sowing it with him. Okay? Again, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of affliction, in thy affliction. But in thy prosperity, he will be as thyself and will behold over thy servants. Yeah, as soon as you good, he wants to act like he's good with you. Everything is all good, right? If thou be brought low, he will be against thee and will hide himself from thy face. He's a fucking a traitor, man. All right? A thief. And there's no honor among thieves. Separate thyself from thine enemies. We're not supposed to even be with these motherfuckers. Jake was better off when he was segregated against Esau, man. Separate thyself from thy enemy and take heed of thy friends, right? Listen to your friends that have more wisdom, more experience, to let you know, don't trust these motherfuckers, man. They've been screwing us over for years, man, for centuries. We're speaking their oppressive language. We're living in their oppressive society. You know, abiding by their oppressive rules, man. And you're gonna think this devil got the best, your best interest, man? Hell fucking no, man. Especially these little young devils, man. They're eager to fucking prove themselves to they cuckold fucking daddies, man. And fucking knuckle dragging butch mothers, man. Let me just pull over right here and finish the scripture off. Separate thyself from thine enemy and take heed of thy friends. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that has found such a one has found a treasure. Right, man? Know who your friends are, man, and don't let nobody else in that inner circle, man, unless approved by everybody, man. You know? And there's no other friend, man, than started with the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai himself first and foremost, and then the brotherhood, man. Everything else out of this walk of ours, out of this truth of ours is vain, man. It's for the birds. Ain't no true friends, ain't no true family. None of that shit. Verse 15, nothing doth countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable, right? He's always going to be with you, man, through the thick and thin, man, through good and bad, through ups and downs. I can't tell you how many times here in just my camp alone, man, we're there for each other, man. You know, whether it's talking, whether it's spiritual talk and spiritual advice, financially if we have to, you know, we're there for each other, man. A faithful friend is a medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him. You know, these men hasn't, you know, dealing with these Edomites, man. They haven't found the Lord. They don't trust in the Lord. They don't fear the Lord, man. They're hanging out with a bunch of fucking people of a nation that don't even fear the Lord. Verse 17, who feareth the Lord shall direct his friendship aright. For as he is, so shall his neighbor be also. My son, gather instruction. This is the scripture I was quoting earlier, man. Get these advice, man. Take this advice, man. That's gonna be positive for you, man. In the near future and in the future. My son, gather instruction from thy youth. Advice, gather all this advice from thy youth. So shalt thou find wisdom to thine old age, man. Right? You get all this advice, man, and your life will be prolonged, man. I mean, we know that we're in the last moments of this bitch, right? But this is advice that a lot of our people didn't take. And unfortunately, man, they're in the spirit world now. Well, unfortunately, they're not with us now, but fortunately, they're in the spirit world now, man. Because at least they're at rest. All right? So not everyone, Salakia, not everyone is a friend, especially Esau, man. I pray that this lesson was edifying. In closing, I want to give all honors and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to you brothers in the highways and byways. Salutations also and always goes out to you brothers and few sisters that tune in to listen and learn. To you all I say Shalom, Ababa Bor, disrespectfully, and Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.